The 793rd edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy using promo code MMA SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. And we're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and you use the promo code SGPN.
Howdy ho, Generinos. Welcome to episode 793 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to my niece, who is now a teenager. Happy birthday, niece. Sorry we didn't call you when we wanted to call you, but long story. And your birthday was last week, and I'm just giving you an episode now, but pretty sure she's not watching and or listening, but her father probably, her father probably is. If Benson Boone is not on this episode, then she will not pay attention to it. Do you know who Benson Boone is? My co-host, gonna be real.
No, is that the cool thing for like young kids in Canada?
Yeah, he's some singer guy with like a skating mustache and
I don't think he's made it to the States.
Oh yeah, he has. He's big time.
Or will make it to
He's big time. He was on the Grammys and stuff. He's not Canadian. He's a skitty American guy.
Oh.
It's a skitty, yeah.
Did we just send him up there because we
maybe we already have Bieber though. I don't know if we need another.
You don't need replacement Bieber.
Yeah. I don't know if Bieber used to live in my area.
He plays like charity hockey games still.
Yeah.
I don't know so much about the music, but I see him occasionally on charity hockey games.
Yeah. Benson Boone's got 49.6 million monthly listeners on Spotify, Gumby. So it's us. We're the problem.
That's just below us, right?
That's just
like our number's a little higher than that.
Yep. Yeah. That's Gumby Vreeland. I am the ass grinding machine, Jeff Fox. If you wonder why I'm that nickname, you have to check out yesterday's episode. And I stole it from my lovely co-host, mentioned that name. Bad segue, but we're talking about the women today. Invicta. I don't want to disrespect the ladies.
That was really disrespectful.
Very disrespectful, but we are talking about the ladies. We're talking about ladies that fight. I would not say anything disrespectful to any of these ladies' faces because I'm a gentleman, plus they would beat me up. Even the 4'8" one that is in the main event.
Yeah.
Yes. We've talked about her before. She's fighting a 5'1" woman who's going to have 5 inches on her, which is insane. So yeah, Invicta. Thoughts on this Invicta card? You like it?
Yeah, I'm really happy we're getting the rebooked Jackie Cataline versus Jaeleen fight because that fight was supposed to happen a month ago or so. And, notoriously we lost the Jackie Cataline side of that fight due to her being medically suspended due to a bad slap fight injury.
It's true. We can't make these things up.
I wish I was making it up, but I'm not. Good to see that they rebooked that one. You know, we got some atomweight fights on tap, which I'm really excited about. I think we come out the gate with atomweights, right? And close up shop with atomweights. So a couple of featherweights, a couple of atomweights fights we don't typically get in the UFC anymore. So excited about that.
Yep. Atomweight. We've called out atomweights already a bunch of times. We want the atomweights, but we'll see.
I'd even take like a well-developed featherweight. Like I know they brought it in and then killed it because they wanted to book Cyborg, but like I really do think there's probably enough talent out there if they just like tried to assemble it. Yeah. They just don't try to like it would be a deeper version than men's division than men's heavyweight. Like I'm positive about that.
Yeah, probably. But UFC does anything that takes effort, they're not interested in.
Right.
Even booking events that require them leaving their apex, they're not super interested in. So, yeah, they're all about value extraction now, Gumby. That's whatever that is. That's the Endeavor way. But this is not under the Endeavor banner. This is Invicta. They're not even on UFC Fight Pass anymore. So they have escaped the tyrannical rule of the UFC. All right, we're going to dive into it. After I remind you, make sure you grab our app. If you have not already, SGPN app, go to the App Store, type in SGPN. Our app's got everything on it. Everything you could expect, picks, Gumby's no run first inning, which are guaranteed winners this season. He's undefeated. He's going to continue to be undefeated. All that stuff, our giveaways, our podcast, obviously everything's on the app. So SGPN in the App Store. All right, let's get into Invicta. FC 61, Ferreira versus Palacios. So I guess they're on a monthly schedule now, right? UFC, I mean, Invicta pretty much, they're pumping them out once a month.
Yeah, since they got that TV contract, they've been pretty consistent.
CBS Sports Network is where you can catch it Friday night, which is good because we just covered PFL, finished covering the PFL, and they are Thursday. So you're going to be covered this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Long weekend for you, starting Thursday. This is Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. YouTube for the prelim, CBS Sports Network for the main card, and Fight Network if you're in Canada. They run the event. So if you want to watch on regular TV. The Grand Casino Hotel and Resort in Shawnee, Oklahoma, they have left the Missouri area finally, Gumby. They're at the Shawnee. Have you been to the Grand Casino Hotel and Resort, Gumby, in Shawnee?
I have not yet been to the Grand Casino and Hotel in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Road trip. I'll swing by and pick you up, and we'll head to Oklahoma. Have you been to Oklahoma before?
Many times.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I have not ever. Why would you have been to Oklahoma? Is there a story?
I used to spend a lot of time in the South when I was younger.
That's right. You're a Louisiana boy for a while there. That's right. All right. Let's break her down. If you want to know why, if you want more background
Listen
on
to our
Gumby,
first 700 episodes.
first few episodes, Gumby just reminded me that he's colorblind, which was a late reveal. That was within the past couple years, I think. That was a Gumby nugget that he dropped. All right. No odds yet for this. Invicta's, we don't usually get odds super early for that, but there will be odds for this. So there's 7 fights in the card. We're giving you in-depth breakdowns of 5 of them. Gumby will give you lightning round for the last couple of picks. Sound good? Good. I know you people enjoy all the talking I've got going here. Let's do a Brazil versus France fight. We got Taynara Silva, Brazilian, obviously. Clara Lopez from France. You probably wouldn't guess France. With the Clara, you may, but Lopez, not as much. 3-5 rounds, 105. The weight class that we want. Watch us. We're going to keep begging for atom weights, and then it's going to be like the worst weight class ever if the UFC ever does it. Watch. All right. Lopez is 8-6, 2 knockouts, 5 submissions. She's been knocked out once, submitted 5 times. She owes us rounds. This is her Invicta debut. She's lost 2 straight. Before that, she won 2 straight. All of those fights were submissions. 2 straight submission losses. Before that, 2 straight submission wins. Live by the guillotine, die by the guillotine. Has not won since April 2023. Used to fight at 115 pounds. That would be strawweight. Silva, 7-5, 1 knockout, 1 submission. She's been knocked out once. This is her debut. 3-0 over her last 3, 2 straight via finish. She's not fought since November 2022. She's not lost since December 2018. I have not lost since ever because I have never fought. So that's the key. When you sit out, you can have long non-losing streaks. Used to fight at 135, so they used to fight at 20-pound weight difference, these 2 ladies. 7 years younger than Lopez.
So I don't think she ever fought at 135. The lady she was fighting was 135.
Okay.
Because I happen to get... I know. I mean, maybe she weighed 135 and just didn't cut weight because I watched that fight. I found the footage on it. It looked like it was at a state fair.
For real, you are not joking, probably, right?
Yeah, and that lady went on to go 0-3 with 3 losses in 1 minute and 33 seconds, all by submission. And so, like, when I was trying to come up with lines for this, like, I watched both fighters fight. I was like, oh, Clara Lopez is probably a favorite here, and I'll ride with her. And then I'm hearing the exact opposite elsewhere. Like, I'm hearing a lot of people talk about Taynara Silva come in here as a favorite. I think maybe because Lopez's losses are by submission, and Taynara Silva has a lot of submissions and is Brazilian, and is coming off a 3-fight winning streak instead of a 2-fight losing streak. Both their records aren't, like, particularly good. But let me tell you, if Clara Lopez comes in here as an underdog, I will be all over it. But usually when we talk about this, that like the noise I'm hearing is one person is a favorite and, my gut says the other person. We talk about it as a pick'em. So if this is a pick'em, I'm still on Clara Lopez. I would have been on her as a favorite anyway. I pegged this in terms of a skill versus skill sort of situation. I put her at like -175. I really think she is much better in terms of striking. Taynara Silva doesn't look like she ever wants to strike. Like her takedown at the state fair was 4 seconds into the fight. Takedown at the state fair. There's your
yeah, that could be it.
Her takedown at the state fair was 4 seconds into the fight, and her opponent just flopped to the ground, and that was it. She moved him out and got an arm triangle. And Clara Lopez has decent takedown defense. She's got much better striking. She's clearly craftier on the mat. And look, some of those losses that she has by submission are to very good fighters. She fought Reina, which by the way, she beat Queen Reina from Ryzen. And then she beat Satoshi. Oh no, she lost to Satoshi Oshima by decision, but she had like good grappling moments against Oshima. And I'm a big Oshima fan. Granted, her Invicta run was less good than her Ryzen run, but like, that's a hard person to grapple against. And Lopez did a pretty good job, particularly positionally. I think she's just going to stuff the takedowns of Silva and probably beat her up on the feet pretty good. So give me Claire Lopez. We're going to call it a pick 'em, but, maybe even as an underdog here.
Hopefully Tapology is correct. 77% on Silva, Gumby.
Yeah, what is I mean,
they haven't watched the state fair fight, obviously.
They gotta go get that. No, like she looks good in that fight, but also like I think anybody with one day of jiu-jitsu, like I don't know how the fight I'm watching that I watched for that one did not get flagged by Tapology as being illegitimate, because the fighter now is, like I said, 0-3. She spent 1 minute and 33 seconds in the cage, and it looks like it was hastily arranged while the other girl was at like the cotton candy booth. Like,
boy, Gumby's got all the lines here. See, you're trying to impress Terrell. You're trying to make Terrell laugh. You can't force these things, but yes. Where else are you going to get a guy that actually watches state fair fights for you to actually get you the inside scoop? So hopefully we'll have to wait. We're talking probably this fights are on Friday. When are the odds going to drop, you think?
Probably Wednesday.
All right, get ready. Get in our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, and we will. Someone will let you know. Abadi Daba is pretty good at letting people know when odds drop, and then you can hopefully jump on Lopez as a massive dog here, right? That would be
hopefully most
profitable. Hopefully. All right. Before we dive into more fights for you, we are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, plus props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposits, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Obviously, you're going to want to play the MMA lines there, but Drew Timme, the man is on fire. Check out his NBA prop plays over at MyBookie. And when you do, head to mybookie.ag. Make sure you use our promo code MMA SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. All right, now let me tell you about Rhythm, another one of our lovely sponsors. Rhythm is your home for AI props and Al props. More on that in a second. Picks and props, AI picks and props. Rhythm is already off to a great start, helping you dominate March Madness. Building your own custom model is easy and profitable. Plus, they got models for NBA, golf, and coming soon, MLB. Do they have Drew Timme projections yet? Probably. They definitely have Al Horford. So check it out. Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RTHMM. Bet the person who wrote the DraftKings ad read thought, oh, we're safe. We can say Cinderella's are going to advance. There's going to be upsets in March Madness. There always is.
It wasn't any. We're maybe in the process of taping this, finding out the last 2 number 1 seeds are also in the Final Four.
Yeah, exactly.
That would only be the second time ever if it does come to fruition. Although it did look like when right before we went to record, Houston was in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, really? Probably because they're part of my parlay on the website. That's why they screw me over. That's okay. All right, we are moving to we went from atomweight to the other far end. We're doing a featherweight bout next. Riley Martinez versus Jaeleen Robledo. They're both American. And I'm going to tell you about Robledo first, the natural. 3-1 with 1 submission. She's won 3 straight fights. She's a regional champion. She's 11 years younger than Martinez. Has she fought in Invicta before? I forgot to check that. I don't think so. Nope. No, this is her debut in Invicta. She has fought for Uriah Faber, though, for what that's worth. He's actually got a decent league, I guess. Rad Riley Martinez. Fantastic. But she rides dirt bikes, too. 4-0, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. So she finished everyone. 1-0 Invicta, an inch of height over Robledo.
Yeah, I'm going to go. So first of all, I think Martinez is going to be like a negative 250 favorite here. And I'm going to go favorite. I'm going to go Riley Martinez. Yeah, I like Jaeleen Robledo. I like her quite a bit as a prospect, which is part of why I interviewed her this week for Top Turtle MMA.
Oh, there you go.
She's the problem is for me in this fight is I just think she's a little too green. She's 21. She's barely scratching the surface of what her MMA career could be. And it just seems like this is a bit too much of a step up for her. She's fought some really good fighters too. But like the bottom line is just like, I don't, unless she's made big gains in terms of her hands, like watching her boxing in the last 2 fights, I think it's just too slow for Riley Martinez. And first of all, it's not like Riley Martinez is like a super, skilled striker either. I just think it's like a lot faster. And she throws like the same 2 or 3 combos, but they're like pretty sharp. She throws this like just touch jab on the front with a big straight right behind it. In fact, like if you watch her last fight, I want to say her first 6 or 7 strikes were like touch jab, big right behind it, touch jab, big right behind. And it was like the same thing, but it was like, it's sharp and it's fast and it makes the person's guard come up. And then she gets her wrestling going. In this fight, I don't even know that she's going to want to get her wrestling going because Robledo is like so sharp when it comes to jiu-jitsu. And that's part of why I'm really high on her as a prospect is I think, her ability to grab a guillotine. She does like the arm in guillotine situation. She goes for it and she's really tough when it comes to that. I just don't think, she's going to have too many chances to get it there because Riley Martinez, like I said before, likes to wrestle herself. I think if she just uses it defensively, like the striking difference is enough here that Riley Martinez should take over. So it bums me out because, again, I like Robledo, but like, again, watching it, I just think the striking too fast. So I'm going to go with Riley Martinez here as his favorite.
But hopefully the Invicta signs more fighters like Robledo. That's the type of fighters you want to see. You want to see,
with tons of potential who just need to like, young. I mean, a 21-year-old featherweight, like you don't see a ton of that. Like it's usually like fighters who like aged up in change weight classes or who we don't see until later in their careers. But like this is a young, good featherweight prospect. We hope to see more of it.
Hopefully she can cut an extra 10 pounds if she ever wants to make the big show. But yeah, she's so young.
I don't know if she's gonna, man. She's both of these 2 women are like, you're like, oh yeah, they could lose 10 pounds, but then you're like, from where? Like,
that's a problem, right?
They're just physically big women. So
and by the time she's ready for PFL, it'll be what, $25,000.
Well, PFL doesn't have featherweight anymore, do they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, their one featherweight that they cared about went to the UFC. So, all right, we're going to the 120-pound weight class, a catchweight fight because it's the short notice fight. Emily Ducote from the United States, Taynara, Souza, Thaiane, Thaiane, Souza, 3 5 rounds, 120. Souza Pancado, which means like thump, or like it means in English like thump or big blow. It's
a genre of music, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah,
it's like a heavy. It's like a beat heavy, which I guess would make sense given the literal translation.
Yeah, wonder if Benson Boone does any of this type of music. I'm not sure.
Really
Souza, I'll ask my niece. I will ask my niece. Souza's 9-7 with 1 no contest, 2 knockouts, 4 submissions. She's been submitted 5 times, so there is the key to beating her. This is her short notice debut, about 9 days notice, I believe I saw. 3-1 over her last 4. Did get submitted in her last fight. That was back in December of 2023, so short notice, and she's been sitting out. Has not won since November 2022. She's fought pretty much every weight class: 105, 115, 125, and now 120. 2013 pro MMA debut. Gordina, little chubby, is Ducote's nickname. If you want to translate it exactly as it's written. 14-9, 3 knockouts, 5 submissions. She's been submitted once. 5-1 in Invicta. The former champion of the promotion. She's back again now. Win-loss win over her last 3, 2-3 over her last 5. Sub win in her last fight. 2-3 in the UFC. 4-4 in Bellator. Multiple regional championships on her.
Mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt, get the gear, get the merch. sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Madness is your code for 20% off. She has fought at strawweight and flyweight. 2015 pro MMA debut.
I almost don't want to waste time breaking this down.
Yeah.
Ducote negative. Is it Ducati or Ducote? We do this.
Ducote. She's American. We'll call her Ducote.
Ducote negative 1,000. And she's not big.
Okay.
Yeah, like I would be surprised if it doesn't. It might post higher than that. I've been seeing some of the offshores post regional fights at like 1,200 and like 1,400 because they're like sick of getting burned on like all negative 600 parlay with people who should be negative 4,000. And so Ducote should be a massive favorite. Taynara Souza, I was watching. Man, she's just so slow on the feet. Like they just basically found the person who strikes the slowest to fight with Ducote, so like she can slug it out and do well. They seem really interested in rehabilitating her image because they ran her against the Ostrovakova in that last fight, who we've noted has been like one of the ugliest performances in Invicta. So like it seems like they just want Ducote back as a title challenger, and this is the best thing they can do. Her hands are so good, and like that's kind of always been her thing. She's struggled a little bit with like wrestling and physicality in the clinch. Souza offers none of that, and on top of that, Souza's so bad on the mat that like Ducote could probably submit her too if she wanted to. Like this should be one-way action. -1,000 on Ducote.
All right, Ducote is maybe getting a shortcut to a title shot. Gets another win here, possibly, right?
Yeah, they'll probably make her get one more.
Yeah,
against like an actual strawweight.
Yeah,
you know, but like I don't know. Maybe they won't. Maybe she'll come out and get a highlight reel knockout. And they'll want to roll that. So,
yep, that's true. All right, co-main event time. Featherweights again. Jamie Edenden. She is from Australia. Jackie Cataline from the United States. 3 5-minute rounds. Cataline is the hybrid. 5-3, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. She's been knocked out once. 1-0 in Invicta. She's won 2 straight. Before that, she lost 2 straight. TKO win in her last fight. 2-2 in PFL. 1-0 in Bellator. Used to fight at 155, 1-3 in slap fighting, and she got injured, right?
She got injured in the only win.
Yes, right.
Yeah, it's the win over Katarina Lerner.
Yes.
Was the one who she beat.
Yeah. All right. Edenden, 5-2-1 with 1 knockout. Never been finished in a fight. 1-0 in Invicta. She's won 4 straight. Oh, her nickname's Snickers. I don't know why I didn't write that down, but her nickname is Snickers. You can find out why. Listen to the Top Turtle podcast. She's won 4 straight. Is not lost since September 2022. Used to fight at 165, so take that 155. 2-2 in boxing and a champion. An inch ahead, an inch of reach over Cataline. 17 years younger, I believe. Isn't Edenden like 19 or 20 or something ridiculously? How old is she?
I think in her mid-20s.
Okay. And
like, I don't think she's
younger.
that young.
No, she's younger than her opponent.
Yeah, Cataline's like 35 or something like that, though.
She's listed as 19, but that's on the boxing site, and they could have just done that when she boxed. They may not have updated it.
That's absolutely incorrect.
Yes. She's definitely not 19 at this point. She is very...
she was at one point in time in her life 19.
Really? You're pretty certain on that one, are you?
Yeah.
I don't know. She boxed... she's only been boxing for like 3 years, so she's early 20s, we'll say. So she's probably like 14 years younger, we'll say, than Cataline. And that's all I got. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going Jamie Edenden. I think she probably won't be too big of a favorite here because Cataline has kind of looked good in her last couple of fights. So you might get a line in the like -160, -165 kind of range for Edenden. But the bottom line is why I really like her is, first of all, her gas tank did not look good in her Invicta debut. We talked about that when I had her on the podcast last about why that was. She didn't get to the U.S. early enough. She had like a really tough flight. She had all kinds of other things. She arrived super, super late with some delayed flights and didn't have enough time to sort of acclimate and ran out of gas in the 3rd round. And it's funny because like if people use that to like lower her line a little bit, that's actually brilliant because that's pretty much where she's been winning her fights all along, is just by being the better fighter in round 3. She fought a PFL veteran down in Australia one time and clearly lost the first 2 rounds and then just got super gritty in the last round, scored a takedown, went full mount, finished the fight. So like she is a fighter who is so good when it comes to that like late fight cardio. And she's fighting somebody in Jackie Cataline who like brings the style where she wants to be the grinder. She wants to be the person to put you up against the cage. She wants to wear you down. And I think she does that worse than Edenden does. I think Edenden is just better at that. I also think she's a better boxer. As you said, she comes from sort of a striking background first, but has like sort of learned how to do the rest well enough that like you don't even think of her necessarily as like a striker turned MMA fighter. You think of her as being like pretty complete. So if this fight does take place on the feet mostly, I think you're going to see Edenden pick her apart pretty bad. And then as the fight gets later and later and Cataline starts to fade, I think you're going to see Edenden's grappling pick up too. So yeah, give me Jamie Edenden here. Hopefully that number stays pretty low for us.
All right. Fantastic. Before we get to the main event, which is for some shiny gold or silver, some kind of championship color, we're going to tell you about Underdog Fantasy. As you see on your screen, if you are watching us on YouTube, it's time for Gumby's Underdog bonus pick'em play for us. Underdog pick'em. You can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. All right, Gumby, let her rip.
I'm going to go Drew Timme. Drew Timme higher than on his points. The Nets on Monday night are playing the Mavericks or whatever's left of them. I don't trust that Kai Jones is going to stop Drew Timme from scoring. And I can't believe that that's an NBA matchup that we're talking about. God bless the late season NBA. But I'm going to say Drew Timme goes absolutely bonkers, puts up like 15 to 20 points, and that should be plenty to go higher than on this projection.
What do you think the projection is going to be for guys?
I mean, I would imagine. So obviously we're recording this a touch early, so we haven't seen these projections yet. But I'm going to say like what 9.5? Is that reasonable? Like 9.5 projection on Drew Timme? He should be double figures. I'm smelling a double for Drew.
All right. Well, and where do you go to school again? Remind us.
Gonzaga. Yeah, he may or may not have gone to Gonzaga.
you would have thought Gumby was a relief pitcher for Gonzaga, but no. Sadly, do they even have a baseball team? I assume they must.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, Gumby did not pitch for Gonzaga. All right, sign up with our code MMASGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. And SGPN is partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. The Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And you know your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. The best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we are to our main event of the evening. Elisandra Ferreira, the Invicta FC Atomweight champion, will defend her title for the first time against Ana Palacios, Brazil versus Mexico. 5-minute rounds. Let's break it down. Palacios, Guerrera is the nickname, but real nickname is the
Short Queen.
The queen of the short queens. She's 4'8", 10-3-1, 1 knockout, 5 submissions. She's been knocked out 1 time. Your kids may be taller than her almost at this point, right? Getting there.
Yeah, they're getting there.
So she's been knocked out once. She's durable. 2-0 Invicta. She's won 3 straight and 8 of 10. Used fight at 115, 2 inches of reach over Ferreira. Ferreira Lili, L-I-L-I, 8-2 with 1 knockout. Never been finished in a fight. 4-0 Invicta and the current champ. She's won 4 straight. She's not lost since August 2022. A regional champion. Used fight at 115, 5 inches of height over Palacios. Probably one of the rare times that Ferreira is going to have a 5-inch height advantage over anyone in the world.
So first of all, I just want to go on record saying I don't think Palacios is 4'8". I think she's quite a bit taller than 4'8". I don't think she's 5 foot. I'm going to say 4'10". Because every single time she squares off with an opponent, I'm like, she's not 6 inches shorter than her. She's not 7 inches. Like every time I look, I'm like, she's a lot taller than Tapology has her listed. Now it might just be funny to list her at 4'8". So you list her at 4'8", but like my guess would be 4'10", 4'11". So like it's way less than the stats bear out. I think Palacios is going to be a major underdog, and I'm going to play her again. I mean, like,
you can't quit your short queens.
At this point, if it's not broke, don't fix it. She just keeps cashing as an underdog every single time I play her. In terms of, not just saying that this is like a system play and we just play Ana Palacios every time her name's on the card. Like,
the Ana Palacios system play.
Yeah, the old Ana Palacios system play. I'm going to tell you that like the big piece for me is they both have a common opponent in Flor Hernandez, which is, I think 2 fights ago for Palacios and a fight ago for Ferreira. Right before Ferreira won the title, and like I want to say Palacios' first fight in Invicta. So there were 2 fights after that. But like the big piece for me is if you take those fights and you look at how they boil down, right? We think of Ferreira as being like this tough grinder and this good jiu-jitsu specialist and this great wrestler, and Palacios as being the sharp striker with like insane power for somebody her size. Like when she cracks people and drops them, you're like, I didn't know anybody that size could drop people. But like that's the dynamic that we see. But then you go back and you watch both the fights with Flor Hernandez, right? And Ferreira gets in on Flor Hernandez's hips, presses her up against the cage, and takes like, 2 minutes to take her down. And it's like a real drawn out process. And then she eventually gets positioned and winds up winning that fight with those positions. You watch the fight with Palacios. Palacios shoots double legs in the middle of the cage on Flor Hernandez and scores them. And then easily has a bunch of top control time where she beats her up. And for me, that's like, okay, so the striker, the person who we really love as being like a volume striker and a much sharper boxer and all that kind of stuff. And she's going to be better than Ferreira there too, because Ferreira just winds up wild and lands about 1/8 of what Palacios does. Like, but then Palacios is the one scoring the better takedowns here too. And like, hopefully that translates from a defensive standpoint too, because I haven't seen Palacios have to defend a bunch of takedowns against a really good wrestler. But like every single time I see her offensively wrestling, it seems like she's developing that aspect of her game. Like it's more well-rounded and more well-rounded and more well-rounded. And I think the volume on the feet is going to be too much for Ferreira. She might surprise her with her power once in a while. And if that wrestling can do enough to hold up, I mean, I think she's going to have an easy path here. And you know, I don't know if I quoted a number yet, but I bet you she's plus 250, plus 275 here. Like,
Nice.
You know, people are high on Ferreira from her AMI background and, you know, the fact that she's the champ and going to be bigger. I don't think it matters. Give me Palacios.
All right. 10% people agree with you on Tapology. So
let's go.
Fingers crossed. And are we another reason to make the road trip to Shawnee, Oklahoma to see how tall Anna Palacios is.
She's quite a bit shorter than me and you.
Yeah, I think so. I'll see if is she 2 feet shorter than me or less than 2 feet. We'll bring our tape measures. All right. Let's recap and get you the last 2 picks of the event. He's got Palacios. He's got Edenden. He's got Ducote, Martinez, and Lopez. All right, later rounds. That Ben Boom Pow.
Yeah, the first one I'm going to take is Joy Pendale. I've been kind of a Joy Pendale hater in the past. I've told people I'm not thrilled about her striking. Still not thrilled about her striking, but the fighter she's fighting is 0-2 in her last 2 fights and had a 2.5-year layoff in between to the third fight where she has a win. So, like, I think they're kind of setting her up in a situation where she can get her grappling going and win this one. So I'm going to take Troy Bentel. And the other one who I'm huge on, but probably won't have a playable number by the time they hit the books is Zoe Nowicki. Zoe Nowicki, very, very tough wrestler. She's only 2-0 in her pro career, but this is somebody who I've definitely got circled as like, you need to pay attention when Zoe Nowicki fights. So like, I'm really excited to see what she does in there again, but you're going to see some like really vicious wrestling out of her and some great aggression. So Zoe Nowicki, Joy Pendle as our 2 bonuses.
All right, there are your picks from the renowned Joy Pendle hater, Gumby Reeler. He must really
preeminent,
the one and only. All right, if you want more Joy Pendle hate, get in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. YouTube Sports MMA Gambling Podcast is the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. You can hit us up in the comments. Twitter, X, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Reeler, and I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. Enter my free UFC pick'em contest at moneymma.substack.com. Listen to Gumby interview someone from this event, as a matter of fact, at Top Turtle. Let the people know who you're talking to.
Yeah, Jaeleen Robledo, who we talked about a little bit early on, prospect who I'm really high on, as well as I'm talking to Louis Garul, who is fresh off of Contender Series. You might remember him from his victory over Nick Piccinini.
There you go. So check out Top Turtle. And of course, we're at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Madness is your checkout code for 20% off. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. All right, got me. Get the people out of here.
All right, I'm Dana Gumby Freeland. He's little chubby Jeff Fox, and we will see you tomorrow.